Pizzas, hamburgers, you name it. High taxes. Well, I'm sure most of you guys know that Connecticut is pretty well known for its pizzas throughout the country. With Pepe's, The Spot, Modern Beats, I mean, everybody seems to gravitate to Worcester Street or State Street for one of their pizzas. Hollywood, movie star, you name it, there's thousands. Well, now apparently, and I know we had a famous so-called hamburger called Lou's Lunch, which is very well known. One of the first burgers, the way I understand it. I don't know the whole history, but it's basically a plain burger. It's 92% ground beef. I did find that out because I buy our beef from the same place, and I have mine cut the same way. Unless the boys are going to eat it, they get 90%. Sometimes 85%, but most of the time there's no 85% or anything lower than 90% in our house. Only because I will eat a 90% burger if need be, and I don't want to give them something that I wouldn't eat. But meanwhile, this place here, which is Ted's in Meriden, they do the original steam burger, and I've been there. Their burgers are great. They're the ones that gave me the idea many years ago to start steaming my burgers. So I usually steam or cook them in water, boil them. How do I do that, you ask? All right. Well, I'll tell you, if you steam it, sometimes they can be a little dry, but they're very good. And once you see all the crap that's in the bottom, that falls out of these things when you steam them, you're saying, yeah, I'm glad I did that. And the same thing when you boil. Now, if you boil it, you tend to get a little bit more juice in it because it has a little bit more of a water substance to it, which does not bother the taste. However, if you always like that frame broiled burger, you're not going to get it out of a steamer or out of a boiled pan. But Ted's, good, steam. I've been there. They're in Meriden. My son lives in Meriden. If I'm near there and I'm hungry, I will go in. I won't go there special, nor will, if I'm in the town, will I just stop in to eat just to have one. All right, but I will use them. The Clam Shack, now, well, they're in Maine, so that's not going to help me. New York, that's not going to help me. You remember New York? You used to be able to buy a hamburger on a corner for $1. 2 hot dogs for $1. I don't know if you guys remember any of that or not. And I'll tell you, somewhere around 42nd Street, there's a spot to where they have great, well, they used to have what they called coconut milk. And that I would drive to New York for to get. I mean, because it was just knockout. That's all there is to it. Now, they said there was 4 in Connecticut. And apparently, I went right by them, and I don't want to drive you guys nuts with this stuff. So let's go back up real quick, and if I can't find them immediately, I'll hunt for them and then come back to you guys just to give you an idea that we are famous for things here in Connecticut other than lousy governors and high taxes and bad gun bills. Let's go get back to Lou's, see if that brings me any place. Come on, not Lou's, Ted's. Because we do have Lou's, and again, Lou's is been around a long time. So Ted's Burger in Meriden, steamed, and I could tell you how I do that on another time. Maybe I'll tell you within the same video on how I steam my burgers or cook them in water. I'll be right back. Why I was finding it here is I have to read it all because apparently they're not highlighting it with a picture like they did with Ted's steamed burgers in Meriden. They do have another place in Woodbury, which is known for their burgers and such. They're showing some websites, but I'm not going to go through all that stuff with you. Top 75 Hole in the Walls, but the website for that one. There's another one, the Main Street Diner, which is also known for what they are since 1934. There's a Lou's has actually been around, I think it was since like 1898, and still owned by the original family. Well, not the family, but you know what I mean, the generations. And still doing things the same way. 1895, that's what it was. And they, I don't know, maybe, see, I don't keep track of time, which is tough at times, but 15 years ago or so, they actually moved from their original location. There's Ted's in Meriden, but there's 4 of them here. Broad Street, that's where Ted's is, but again, instead of going through all that stuff, that's about where we're at. So we are pretty well known for burgers as well. So like I said earlier, pizza, burgers, high taxes, and tough gun laws. And the worst governor in the country, in my opinion. I know the other one was. He was rated as being one of the first, or the first. I don't remember. So I was looking to see if they had something like what they have here, you know, with a little front page picture. But they do, but they're different states. This is Maine and things like that. So nothing to really highlight the 4 other than the text that you have to read in Connecticut. And I guess, is that a cheeseburger place or a noodle? Tasty hand-pulled noodles. My mouth is not working in New York. Tasty dumplings. Alright, anyway, so much for that. So let's get off of that subject for now. How do I do my steam burgers? You want to know? Well, I got the cast iron. I take the big pan, and I have one of those little grills or grates, whatever you want to call them, that fit over it nicely, actually, and in the lid. We put about an inch of water or better in the pan, and it starts to get the little bubbles where it's bubbling. It's boiling, but not rapid boiling, but it's boiling. And we take our burgers and we place them on the rack, and we put the top on it, and we just let them steam. And they cook. All the crap falls to the bottom, you know, into the water. You don't have to turn it over, but if you want to, just to get any of that scum fat residue off the top, you can turn them over or just move it aside with the spatula. And that's how we do our steam. How I do my so-called boil burger is I add about an inch of water, maybe a little bit less, 3/4, at least a ½ inch of water in a pan, and I get it to a simmer, if that's what you want to call it. I make my burger, and I just put it right in the water and cover it. So you're kind of steaming, boiling it at the same time. Now you may have to turn it, but it doesn't get that grill look or taste. But it's got a great taste, and it's got moisture to it, and it's healthy because again, you see all the crap that boils out of it, which we like to eat sometimes. We call that the best part, and that's just gone. You know, it's done. So if you like burgers and you want to watch your fat intake, try the steam or the boil. The boil is going to be a little bit more juicier because it's actually cooking in the water. So if you want the feel of the juice with the taste of the burger and not the taste of the grease, the boil's the way to go. If you like them a little dry, well, then you steam them. All right. Either way, it's healthier than frying them. You know. Now, if you fry them on a grill, that's a little bit different. You know, I like a good grilled burger. I will eat a Burger King because of that reason. But I tried it. Wendy's, I hate them. I used to love them, but I'll tell you, something happened to them since the last 10 years. And they are the worst burger in the world, in my opinion. I'd eat a McDonald's first. So, But meanwhile, that's about it, guys. Still about the same going on. It's about 12:19 now, so I guess it's been about an hour that I've been out here doing absolutely nothing yet. I am having my other cup of 50-50 mixed coffee. Doctor said I can drink coffee. Now, I told him I drink one of these small pots. I keep a personal pot out here. Alright, and I usually use 12-ounce cups, but I guess those are 16 now. I don't know. But there's still coffee in this, so I don't drink it all. Now, occasionally in the wintertime, I may do another pot and have a cup and just sip on it. But by the end of the day, if I drank half of it, that's a lot. So I may drink 2.5 cups a day. And it's not straight coffee because I use whole milk. So, you know, and I like it light. I think they used to call it picnic coffee. The family used to call it picnic coffee. You know, back then it was 50% milk and 50% coffee. But it made us kids feel like we're having coffee with the adults. So... Alright, anyway, that's about it for now. So let me do what I got to do here real quick. Let me finish my emails, and then I got to find my saw. I know I got the big one. The big Husqvarna is out in the shed, but I want to find the little still because that's the one I'm going to use to cut some of this wood, and I don't know where the hell is that it? No, that's a sander. And I don't know where the hell I'll put... Oh, there it is. I found it. Down yonder. That isn't, yeah, this is still. Alright, so anyway, I'm going to go out and cut a couple little pieces of wood, and I'll be back.